What do you think of President Reagan's speech last night on Central America?
I think it shows a lot of concern about the truth of the endangered of the Central American situation. To me, it is clear. The goal is not Nicaragua. The goal, to me, is Mexico. The United States is going to have problems within their own borders very soon. This is going to happen. Mexico is a volcano. It is going to explode. And then I hope that the American people will open their eyes and see the real threat that this represents.
But don't you think that President Reagan's speech marks a move towards a wider war in Central America?
I think there is already a war going on in El Salvador. There's a war going on in Guatemala. There is a war going on in Nicaragua. I mean, it's hard to imagine how could it get wider.
Then you do see President Reagan's speech as marking a widening of the war?
What it shows really is a very strong position and a very clear understanding about the threat that this Nicaraguan totalitarian Marxist-Leninist regime represents here. And he clearly sees that. And in that way, I do agree. I am surprised that people are not aware of what this represents. When the fire starts in Mexico, it is going to burn Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, California, and then maybe they will open their eyes.
But then do you see President Reagan and his administration simply concerned about Central America, not out of a humanitarian concern for the people in this region, but because they want to stem the flow of revolution towards the United States?
I think it is clear that the policy of the United States has always been not to spread democracy, but to have allies and in many cases puppets in the area. And this is exactly what I think is one of the weak points of the U.S. government foreign policy. The Soviet Union always wanted to extend an ideology, Marxist-Leninism, and then they go and control and put up satellites. In the case of the United States, they very seldom look and see who are their allies. It could be Pinochet, as well, that is a right-wing dictator, and could be the Chinese, that are a left-wing totalitarian regime.